Welcome back to another AEW Dynamite Yap Session, and it's a very special video. Today is Blood and Guts, Team AEW taking on Team Elite. But before that insane match, we have plenty of show to cover first. The show starts with MJF, who is the new not the international champion anymore, because he threw it in a trash can and presented us with the new American Championship. This thing actually looks pretty sick. I have never bought a championship title in my life. Well, I mean, I have these toy ones, but never an actual real replica. But if they sell that belt, I will absolutely buy it. I do live in the United States, and I am the most patriotic man in the world, even though I'm more Mexican than anything. But still, it would look cool to just have around. I also thought it was funny how MJF was like, it was the easiest match of my life, and that he didn't even break a sweat. Even though it was, the longest match ever, and he needed a full air tank after. He's just a total prick, and it's hilarious. And not only that, but he brings down a huge American flag with his face on it. I think it works so well because MJF is the most over-the-top person, and the United States is sometimes the most over-the-top country. So I love it. So then MJF flees because Will Ospreay shows up, who talked to Christopher Daniels backstage and has announced their rematch for the International Championship at All In. With these two fighting for the belt at All In, it seems so prestigious, so I applaud it. It's gonna be a great match. Thumbs up. Next, we had the Learning Tree Chris Jericho defending his FTW Championship against Suzuki. These two chopped each other so much, Jericho started bleeding, and the fans were into it, and so was I for like the first 5 minutes, but they just went on so long. Like, it went through the first commercial break. It was so much chopping. But the match was awesome. Suzuki dragged Jericho out of the ring, broke his fingers in front of all the fans. It was just an entertaining watch. And of course, with it being no disqualification, Jericho hits him with the low blow to get the 1-2-3. And after the match, I think Suzuki still hit him with the pile driver. Then we got a huge brawl with Brian Keith, Big Bill, and then Shibata came back. That was awesome. Next week, I really hope we get the return of either Joe or Hook. They are desperately missed. After that, we had the in-ring return of Dr. Britt Baker. She was reigniting an old feud with Hikaru. Baker actually took the AEW Women's Championship from her like 3 years ago. So for longtime fans, I bet it was really cool to see this rematch. I don't remember that though, but it was still a great match. They had some amazing back and forth moments. Hikaru did look a little slow, like especially on the ground rolling around. I don't know if it's just me noticing that, but she made up for it. Especially like a running knee outside the ring to Britt Baker. That was so good. Coupling that with some close pinfalls, I had a great time. After Britt Baker won with a lockjaw, the CEO Mercedes Mone came out. But she wasn't alone. We got the debut of Camille, who absolutely destroyed Baker. Now listen, I don't know about you guys, but me personally, I like my girls with a little bit of muscle on them, okay? I am already sold with Camille. Pac had a squash match against some guy from Collision. That's a little rude. I cannot find his name. Bleacher Report doesn't even have Pac's match on here. Boulder. Okay, Bear Boulder, that's his name. Okay, Pac squashed Bear Boulder. Am I crazy, or did Pac win a number one contenders match for the International Championship like 2 weeks ago? So he should be in that all-in match, right? Am I crazy? They could do a three-way, but I'm pretty sure they're just gonna push Pac back a little bit. So I'm a little confused on what's going on with Pac. We're probably gonna have to wait like another month and a half to actually see him go for the title. Lame. And then the same thing with Mariah May. They had another squash match, which, I guess it's blood and guts, you gotta, keep everything else short. But one thing I never ever understood is how they do the hip attack safely. Every time that move looks like it absolutely just crushes the person's skull. Am I crazy? What's the trick? How does that not kill someone? Okay, so Mariah May won, and then fortunately Toni Storm appeared, and these girls were throwing some haymakers at each other. I am so happy to see Toni back. I'm absolutely rooting for Toni this time, but this feud seems so hot, I can't believe they're gonna stretch it out for another month. I'm gonna let them cook. Then it was time for the main event. What we've been waiting for all night. The first two entrants are Jack Perry and Darby Allin. Now, Darby was absolutely made for this match. It's like tailored towards him. Within the first 2 minutes, he was flying over the barricade into the fans. Oh my god, there was a point where Anthony Bowens gets scissors, and Jesus, that just scares me, man, because it's so easy for something to go so wrong with a pair of scissors in a wrestling match. And he sticks it in Jack Perry's mouth and just, oh my god, it really scares the shit out of me, dude. Nah, he kind of paid for that though, because he's the one that suffered the big table spot, which was awesome. Heyman didn't show up, which made me a little nervous, but it totally made sense because once Swerve made his entrance, Heyman attacked him from behind. Which, if you think about it, yeah, that's like the only thing he cares about is killing Swerve. But there's still some hostility between Team Elite. Heyman didn't really care about going in the ring and fighting until Matt Jackson literally threatened to fire fire him if he didn't. And we're definitely setting up some Hangman anti-hero vibes, because during the match, she accidentally delivered a buckshot lariat to Okada. What are some awesome moments? I think Darby Allin swung from the top of the cage and landed through a table on Jack Perry. There was a moment where the entire Elite had staple guns and took turns stapling Swerve. Jeff Jarrett put a guitar through Brian Cutler's head, and Darby Allin poured gasoline on a handcuffed Jack Perry and threatened to set him on fire if he didn't quit, and agreed to a TNT title match at All In. But Jack Perry is a dog, because even then he did not surrender. But before Darby Allin could light it, Mac Jackson was the one to call off the match. So Team AEW took the win. This was awesome. I had so much fun. But what does this mean for Swerve Strickland and Bryan Danielson? Because you know Swerve is absolutely going to bring this up in their feud. Because think back to Double or Nothing. Bryan Danielson failed in Anarchy in the Arena to beat Team Elite. But this time, Swerve Strickland was able to beat them. So I guarantee you that's going to come up. Anyways, that was my Yap session of AEW Dynamite Blood and Guts. What did you think of the show? And as always, thanks for watching, cool dudes.